Hello and welcome back to the channel once again. My name is Andy and today we've got something a little bit different, slightly new series per se, but it's not going to be a regular thing. This is what I'm going to be calling Andy Races, and what's going to be happening when I have these videos is that if there's a particular event coming up within the motorsport world, if it's available for me to run a short race of some description, I'm going to do so within one of the games I have. I'm going to give you some background and history against it. So today's entry, since it is running this weekend, is the Nurburgring 24-hour race. And we're going to come into that in a minute, but it is a hugely popular event with many people, and is more aimed at the amateur driver, although professionals do get involved as well. But before we get into some details and bits and pieces around the event itself, as always, I do like to start off by saying thank you very much for watching. If you do enjoy this video, please do thump that like button. Comment below about your thoughts on the Nurburgring 24. Also give me some suggestions if possible other races I can do for this kind of series. I've got a couple in mind. Next two I'm planning are the Indy 500 and the Le Mans 24 hours. I've got a few others in my head for after that, but if you can think of something else that's coming up soon that I could play within Project Cars 2, which I'm using today, F1 2017, which I've got at the moment. I did have GT Sport and Assetto Corsa, but I don't have them now. Stopped playing them, and well, Assetto Corsa disc broke. Oops. But if you can think of anything else, let me know below, and if it's possible, I will happily look into it and see if I can get a video up about it. Do hit the subscribe button as well if you do want to see more from myself. Hit the bell icon as well so you don't miss out on any videos from me moving forward. But back to the point of today's video. Now, just to let you know that on screen is a 1-lap demo run that I done using a GT4 car around the track. So it's just for some background while I introduced the video and gave you some background and sightings into the event itself. So don't worry, this is not to do with the actual full length of the race that I'm going to do in a moment. But the Nurburgring 24, it is obviously held at the Nordschleife Nurburgring combined circuits. That takes in the GP track as well as the old Nordschleife itself, the Green Hell, as it was once coined by Sir Jackie Stewart back in the 70s. And this race sees a mix of GT and touring cars predominantly. You do see some other cars in there as well. And this year's event is being held this weekend, as I'm talking to you today, which is Saturday the 12th of May, when this will be published. And it's got over 150 taking part today for this year's event, run over 24 hours, and it is a very popular event. As I say, it is more aimed at amateurs, so if you do have a car, a race car which is safety improved and all the stuff that you need, and you've got a spare €7,500 kicking about, then you could enter technically into this race. I'm sure there's some other requirements and legalities etc you need, but still there's the possibility you could enter into this race. It can attract up to over 200 cars. I mean, the possibility is of up to 230 can take part in practice and up to 210 can qualify, so you can have over 200 cars competing. So you've got 200 cars, 2, 3 or 4 drivers per team, which means you can have anywhere around about 800 drivers, and then you add in all the personnel as well to that. It's a huge event. It's something that's very popular with a lot of, I would say, purists of the sport. They enjoy the fact that it's around one of the most infamous circuits in the world, you could say. And obviously the grand mix of cars. I know within, like, say, the Le Mans 24 hours or things like that, you have LMP1, LMP2, GTE and GT Am. But this has GT3, GT4, touring cars. There has been other cars entered over the years as well within separate classes. So there is a bigger mix, I would say, in here, and where else are you going to see over 150 to 200 cars on one track at one time? It is absolutely insane to think about. Wee bit on the background, it's been held since 1970. It does use, as I say, the combination of the GP track and the Nordschleife. The length it has changed over the years due to the changes of the track itself. The one part of the GP track it doesn't use is the arena section that got put into the Nurburgring around about the mid-2000s. So after the first hairpin, they just take a sharp right, mini chicane style almost now, and then re-enter next to the back of the Mercedes-Benz arena section. But the rest of the track is relatively the same, with the only other exception being the chicane at the end of the GP track. The endurance track uses a slightly different version of it moving forward, but it has been running since 1970. It has attracted huge fields in the past. There's 3 drivers which have won the race the most, which is 5 times. 3 drivers have won it 5 times. Those are Portugal's Pedro Lamy, who most people remember from being in Formula 1 in the mid-90s. He's now a very successful GT driver. Usually has been driving in the World Endurance Championship Series, been at Le Mans a few times and stuff like that. Also the German Timo Bernhard. Now a lot of people may remember him from GT Racing and DTM as well. So he's won it 5 times too, and the third driver to win it 5 times is Markus Thiemann, another German as well. No surprise that on home turf the Germans are up there with the most wins. The manufacturer with the most wins is BMW, 19 wins overall. And if I remember from my research, I think Mercedes is second, but they've only got 11 wins overall. But BMW have not won since 2010. Since 2010, Porsche won in 2011, and then it's been Audi, Mercedes for the next 4 years or so. Last year's race was won by Land Motorsport using an Audi RA LMS, and their 4 drivers that they had were the American Connor De Filippi and South African Kelvin van der Linde. Those 2 won the race for the first time that they had won the race, and van der Linde became the first South African driver to ever win at the Nurburgring 24. The other 2 drivers of the car were Germans, funnily enough. One of them was Christopher Mies with his 2nd win at the event, and the 4th driver is someone who is part of a F1 quiz question. You know, that in terms of who was the driver to lead the European Grand Prix at the Nurburgring in his debut for Spyker, and that is of course Markus Winkelhock, and he has won this race 3 times. Those 4 drivers covered 158 laps in the 24 hours last year, which, if I do remember rightly, is a record for the most laps within the 24 hours round the Nordschleife. So that is something else too. It shows you how long the track is, and it takes it's 158 laps in 24 hours. We think Le Mans is a long lap, but you get around about 300 plus laps at Le Mans, because it's only around about 3 to 4 minutes a lap now with the current hybrid LMP1s. Now, so you can have up to 4 drivers. The longest allowed stint is 150 minutes non-stop, and there is a rule where a driver can drive for 2 separate teams, which is quite fun, as long as there's a gap between their stints of at least 2 hours and no more than 150 hours in one go. Not done enough research to check with the last driver that done that. It could be quite recent, I don't know, so I'm going to be honest, I never really checked that. But it is interesting to know that you could technically be in this race twice, which is quite quite fun. So what I'm going to do today is a 24 minute race, so basically going to just ramp it up to the time progression at 10, so it should, if I've done the settings right, fill a full 24-hour time cycle, hopefully. I'm going to be running in the Touring Car class in the BMW 3 Series, so we've 4 classes I've got are GT3, GT4, I've put the Group A Touring Cars in, because I love them, and the Touring Cars themselves from Project Cars, so 4 classes in total. In the Touring Cars, difficulty has been ramped up quite a bit, so I'm using the drill shock, not expecting a lot. I've talked through the race, so I'm going to leave it here, and we are going to jump into the actual action itself. Enjoy. So here we are then, waiting to start. It's set as 25 minutes rather than 24, as mentioned in the intro. Didn't realise I could. It's only going to go up in 5-minute intervals here on Project Car, sorry, for this race between the GT3s. GT4s, put the Group A's in there as well, and I am in the BMW Touring Car, so we'll be towards the back. I did think about using the GT3s going for overall victory, but I felt that would just be a bit boring. So I'm trying something a little bit different. So we've got the BMW 25-minute race. Time progression is set at ×10, so it should run us through a full 1-day cycle. I have just kept the weather to clear, and this is going to be fun with a rolling start, and also Nurburgring's not necessarily my favourite track in the world, especially the Nordschleife. So yeah, this is probably going to be fun. I'm probably going to crash at some point, but it's for a bit of fun, so here we go. Before anyone says as well, I know the assists are on. I'm using a dual shock control, which is pretty horrible then. There we go, green light, and the 24 hours of the Nurburgring is underway.
One left.
You can hear the
Still left.
engineer when I'm passing the people from the
Nice one,
controller. Up to 6th gear, we're going to get the brakes. Someone's
one on the left.
The GTs, but it looks at the GT4 and the GT3 are
3 wide, you got one each side.
3 wide, we're bumped to the IR.
Left side.
Parking in the parking lot, and
Right
we
side.
are up amongst it with some of the Group A cars.
Okay, you're clear.
Flats at the moment. Mercedes hitting the car ahead there from Group A. Into
Car left.
right-hander.
You're good, you're clear.
Falling back. Chased by that Renault behind us. We've got the Group A's, I think it's the leader possibly in the class of Group A.
2 wide, left side.
BMW, give them a wee
Nice,
nudge.
clear.
Nick.
Got
And
one,
we
2
are
lanes back.
again. So 23rd overall out of 30. I've done no practice for this, so bear with me. This is going to be fun. You'll see time progression. I hope to not have to do any pit stops. Just whacked it full of fuel. Taking it nice and easy, nothing too major at this point. So we've got GT4 and then Toyota GT4's ahead.
Left side.
Oh, he's just squeezed me a bit there, wasn't quite ready for it. Sideways into the chicane. Just running slow, there's Renault behind us again. We'll come now into the Nordschleife section.
On the left side.
Track itself. Jumping out first round.
Still on your left.
Now with the GT4 on the left as we come through this
Still
narrow section. I've caught the curve,
Okay,
pushed
clear.
wide, caught the wall, and I've lost third place in class. It's still going. You will also notice damage off, because I've tried this yesterday, and damage on.
One length behind.
Not happening, so actually in the race.
2 lengths behind.
It is just for a bit of fun, because it is Nurburgring 24-hour race between today and tomorrow. The World Touring Car Cup is on just now, as I record this. Now, so heading up towards the float flats for the first time. Here up and over the crest, probably take a bit of a lift. Just to settle the car, just as we turn in. Not really driven the BMW Touring Car, so it's a learning curve as a drive, which is probably not ideal with this track. We do. Building up the speed now, 6th gear, hitting the rev limiter, that's going to be a problem. Down the long straight at the end of the lap, and I dick of that. Passed by a couple of the Group A's, there's another one going past me, which is class, and I'm just about the last in class, second last overall. Yeah, this is going to be fun. This is why I'm not I don't race much around the Nordschleife. I know a lot of people do. It's not really a favourite track of mine, and because of such I don't know my way around too well. But hey ho, what do you do? It's only been 3 laps because it's 24 and 25 minutes, which really don't be 3 or 4 laps I need to do here. I hope this isn't going to be a boring race, but it's quite possible it might be now. Oh dear. Maybe wish we were done the G3 just so I could at least kept up with someone. Much better on the brake. Mustang, then this I can see that much clearer. Up the hill, so many bumps now, this is the fast part. This is going to be not a quick part. Try to avoid the curves and catch them every time. Mustangs sneak past me. Try and follow them. Catch up.
You've got one on your right. All clear.
The lines from the AI Mustang before braking points just to gauge me a bit slightly. Catch up to the back of the other touring cars in the race, but coming up towards the carousel shortly. Just about got it through there, just in time. Hard the brakes. Down to second. Here we go up to the famous carousel. Well known corner this in motorsport. On the brakes. Drop it in the second. Can I keep it in the line? Not really, not. Downfalls obviously I have using the dual shock controller, not having a wheel at this point. So it's not tricky to gauge my turn. A lot more difficult to gauge the turn with the car. Not quite how I envisioned the race going so far. We'll try and push it shortly into ninth. Car on track, hoping to catch up some time to at least those in the same class as me. Yeah, that one. Maybe that one. And he's falling back now. A bit more lawn open pump, down the gear, put it in. There's a cluster going on there between a few of them. Mustang GT4's been held up in it, cut the through
right. All good, you're clear now.
Mixed up in it.
2 lengths behind you.
We'll see the rest of the touring car class at the moment up ahead. I'm being more cautious through the corners than some people would do. I'm not particularly sure of where the track always goes and how tight the corners are if you go through the mini carousel. There's now a couple of cars behind me, even if they're not the same class. Hopefully a bit of a race for some. Here we go down the long back straight there. I didn't do setup, I changed a few bits just to try and help the steer and make it a wee bit more agile in the corners, which hasn't necessarily worked. As I said, I didn't do any testing of this, but I haven't changed the gear ratios. I feel it might have been a bit of a stupid thing to do. I'm now stuck on 238 down the straight here, maxed out about just shy of 6,500 miles. Flipping away. I'm going to get the brakes a little bit here to steady the car.
2 lengths back. 1 length behind.
There we go, that is 1 lap in the books. It'll take me about 10 minutes. What horsepower this we got? We got 310. So it's on 1. Nice and easy. Avoid the gravel there on the inside to look at the corner cut. That gives you that. Touching it sometimes. So, I got a bit of fuel for the car. I hope this kind of temperature. Either way, so it is just for fun little series and a series. One possibly next week we might do it actually. I've got time for the Indy 500, which is in 2 weeks time. Monaco Grand Prix. If we pick out these bigger events, sometimes maybe stuff doesn't quite go through about too much. Sort of playlist series, whatever you want to call it. It's not a regular thing, it's not like the classics, it's every week. It's not like the commentary races, which are one every week for 3 weeks and then break. There's some technical issues. These are just for a bit of fun and games as I use the inside curve in a stupid way. Still can't do it. I'm catching up to the car ahead slowly. Anyway, we'll find out soon. This is really, really fast. I know there's a lot of people on YouTube who time trials around the Nurburgring and race around it a lot. One you may have seen doing quite a few of them is Jimmy Broadbent. Sorry, Brimmer. He's done quite a lot of using iRacing, set of cars up and all over the place, got different cars, using it in VR as well. So if you do want to see someone who's actually pretty decent at driving around the Nurburgring and the Nordschleife, I would probably say go check his channel out. He's got a good number of videos on there of him racing around this legendary green hell, as it was once coined by Sir Jackie Stewart. So you can see the car ahead, it's about 5-6 seconds up the road, so I just need to make sure I don't screw up through here. I'm nearly a bit there, I just need to get the brakes.
1 length back.
And I'm actually quicker to stay ahead of this GT4. Not the easiest of places to pass, obviously. It's like very narrow, it's old track. Back in the day, you can also go and ride your road car around there, although your insurance policy is valid, you get to crash into that handle
Half
top
length
left.
behind.
I'm hoping not to crash that badly
2
today.
lengths back.
Starting to get into the swing a bit of wee touch now, obviously not getting overconfident. Starting to tail it over again, because it's can't help it to do it fly. Just now. See, if I learned this track as best I could and done this, it would also be a bit better.
Half lengths back.
So
What's your
let's
line?
try and give me a bit of a bump there. But I'm not.
1 length back.
Don't anticipate me doing
Half
so
length
for a
back.
while either. I think. Maybe once you get a wheel on it, you can try something.
2 lengths behind. He's still there. 2 lengths back.
Cars ahead now. Really, really frustrating. If you're still stuck around at this point in the video, congratulations to you. Unfortunately, there's no prizes. If anyone else has disappeared already in the state of the starting point, then thank you anyway. Don't know why I'm saying that because obviously there's left. But those that are stuck around, despite my poor attempts at driving, thank you very much. Something that you weren't too sure of, Nurburgring 24, it's give you a little bit of an insight, and
2 lengths back.
I'm happy to have done as such. Love, personally, the look on the classic series. If you do watch me, you are subscribed. I do enjoy the history of motorsport. Because I do like learning more about old cars, old tracks, old championships.
2 lengths behind you.
Mustangs getting a heck of a
Half length
run.
behind.
This is not the place
Car
I
on your
want.
left.
Trying to go by me. Oh, side by side, I gave him a nudge.
Clear.
Yeah. I do enjoy these sort of things. I'm going to try and do Indy next week or two for 500. It's a huge amount of history there. I think this year it will be 107 running the Indy 500. So I'm going to try and do something similar to this for Le Mans as well come June. For Le Mans 24 hours as well. So yeah, at least the first couple I can find for
Not one,
sort
2
of
lengths
Let's
back.
Race series. We've got a bit of history and stuff as well. So if you do enjoy this kind of thing, do hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon as well so you get notified when
1 length behind.
go up. And it means whenever I
Half
do
length
any
behind.
of these videos, if that's what you enjoy the most, you know when I have published this. I get a little sideways in the exit curve. Exactly right. Being last in class isn't quite how I anticipated this. But the driving skills are let me down quite a bit. It does look like it's not the time to get I can try to talk this one more time. I think this is the problem with the whole YouTube crashes. Again, and come out second for that corner. Group A, that's the Sierra Cosworth, one of the Sierra Cosworth. Group A is also the fast car. Catch that thing. This is the fun bit, and that's the last thing I want to be doing coming up to this. Bump, step in before you take the corner. Right in the braking point, very tricky. The Sierra Cosworth behind me. Different types of cars running on Nurburgring 24.
2 lengths back.
GT3s.
Watch left.
Oh, the Sierra right around the outside of me. You know that? Yeah, that's a pretty good move, but that's what happens when you got difficult coming up. Plus we put it a little bit too high for this track. I should have maybe dropped it down a bit. And there it was, but that was pretty sweet, I must say. Hit the wall cover up to there again. That's the second lap in a row I've done that. So hopefully I won't do that on the final lap. Even the Group A's away, he's past that. GT4 Mustang in a hurry. Like the Mercedes 190. Like that car. Flying up to terminal velocity, as they call it. The last car in the race behind me, it's another Group A, so that'll be flying up behind me in a hurry, no doubt, because it's got more than 312 horsepower, I'm sure. And it'll be back around onto Nurburgring for the third lap. As we come over the line, 9 minutes 44. Here we go, this will probably be the last lap then. 4.5 minutes left. Session time. It's not going to be the greatest of races for watching. It does look like out of the 30th, probably going to be last overall because I'm feeling that Group A touring car behind me is going to come up pretty quick in heat. If you are interested in watching the 24-hour Nurburgring, I do believe that they are showing full race on the YouTube channel, so if you search for it in the search bar, you should be able to find it. If you are trying to watch it after the race, Nurburgring 24 hour 2018, you should be able to find quite a bit about it as well. I think the entry list this year has got over 150 cars, as I mentioned in the intro. There has been years when there have been over 200, I do believe. In years past, I think limits are up to 230 for practice. You can qualify up to 210 different cars. There's a huge amount of teams, huge amount of personnel, drivers. It's a huge event. Imagine, so. So the weather this weekend is looking pretty good, so there are a lot of people out there enjoying it, camping. It's one of those bits that I really wouldn't mind going one year when I have a chance. Notice this mistake I've made in the setup for these testing is I just filled the fuel right up to the maximum and I've not even used a quarter of the tank. Like a silly thing for me to weigh the car down. You know. I say on the drill shot it's kind of manage it, but I don't have the time to play it as much to get it right for the drill shot, so yeah. You can see yourself. Go wide there again. I got it right last time. I did forget to put the time transition on, which is annoying because I would have loved to have driven through the forest here in the dark. That would be the whole point of it. Fun. people will probably be slating me as well for using the road camera rather than in the car, but especially around this track, I need to see where I'm going, and this is kind of default mode for when I'm doing online because I like what's around me. Don't trust the spot or things in the spot too much. Crashes into that, trusting it so much. There is that coupe behind me. BMW. Classic car in itself, especially when you put that white, blue and red BMW livery. Schnitzer team back in the days usually.
Still 2 lengths back.
Project car style livery on it today. Schnitzer team BMWs. Both of them, I believe. Lots of stuff with Schnitzer team BMW cars. From the 1 Series, IMSA, I'm sure they've done. I'm sure they're still about doing that. There are World Touring Cars, ETN, still about. There's some amazing drivers over the year. Touring cars as well, Van Miller, I'm sure has been on Schnitzer BMWs, a lot of drivers about. I just can't think off the top of my head right now to concentrate through here. BMWs I mentioned at the start, the most winningest, they're the team with the most wins, manufacturer, sorry, with the most wins in Nurburgring 24-hour history, with 19. Not one since 2010, apart from 1 year with a Porsche one, there has been the Audi Mercedes swapping the wins over the last 4 years with their GT3, AMG SLS and R8 LS as well. The timer has run out. The time is up. GT3's not completed the lap yet, so not getting the hurry up to finish just yet.
Two lengths behind.
Shut up. Good to know, I like having the spotter on to know about it. I don't have to always do it when we're permanently, get an idea. Carry on with it forward. Right, that's a bit annoying after a while. So the one you heard there, giving the spotter info is Project Cars 2 tester race driver Ben Collins, who's also famously known as being Stig Top Gear UK years back, got a book out, and there goes the end. Right, and we're last overall, but yeah, he voices that one. I don't know who does the American spot voice, which you hear in the racing, the likes of IndyCar or NASCAR, opposed to stock car. It does make a nice change up. Sorry Ben, I should spell that one. I don't know what it is, there we go. Getting towards the end of this race. I'm going to have to do one more lap. Or not. Sugar. Yeah, the gap's been done, so it's going to last So one more time down the street. This is where obviously if you do go to have a race, a short round the track and drive around the track, up here on the right at one point is where you come out of pits on the track. If you are doing track day, the set of course, that's where you actually start, so then it's there on the right. track day. So we're coming up to the end now, and that is going to be it for today. It's not been the best race to watch, so if you have stuck around at the end, thank you very, very much. Either way, thank you once again all to everybody who watched. I've learned anything from it, really good as well. And obviously say the next one of these I'm looking to do will be Indy, possibly next weekend, so if you want to see that, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon. And obviously the classic stuff will continue on a Thursday evening as well. Be moving away from F1 cars on the F1 2017 game shortly to F1 and Touring Cars and Le Mans cars within Project Cars 2, so that part is coming up very, very soon. But that brings us to the end of the video today. You can see at my lap time, fastest lap was a 9:44, and everyone else was at least 9:36, so it's fair to say that I was shit. But that is going to do it for today. That is going to do it for this race, this video. Thank you very much for watching. Do thump that like button as well. Leave a comment below. Tell me how bad was the driving, because I think it's pretty shocking. But until next time, I will see you in the next video. Ta-da.